I mean, this is the AD that we talked about being in the bubble. This is the AD in the version that we talked about as far as, now LeBron James can potentially catch Michael Jordan in this GOAT discussion. You know, the race to 6, the race to 7 championships. This is the AD that the Lakers need right now because the Clippers are still there. For me, the Clippers are the team to beat in the West when it comes down to it and you have the playoff intensity. I truly believe this team's going to step up. But they need this AD, Nick. And the biggest tell is AD was more aggressive. Point blank, period. I mean, AD being more aggressive, he made so many trips to the free throw line in the last 2 games that he has in the last 2 years when you talk about back-to-back games. So him being more aggressive opened up the entire court. We know who they are on the defense. Now, they struggled in April, but they're still number 1 overall. And then on the offensive side, you bring in LeBron James and you have AD playing like this. Who are you going to cover? The spacing was phenomenal. Frank Vogel finally figured out a rotation between AD and Drummond. So having both of them on the court just made it seem like this team was right where they needed to be. So, yes, Jenna, yes, Nick, this AD is what the Lakers need. This version right here will be scary for teams. Right. Now, they still need to be more consistent, but I need to see AD do this day after day after day.
I got bad news, Brandon, for you and the rest of the league. The brow is back, America, after a brief absence since the bubble. I don't know why you two are shaking your head. The brow is back. Look at that. Against Denver, I don't know what you're talking about. Against Denver, you saw little flashes of it. On both ends of the court. You saw it. And then he got hurt against the Clippers. We're like, oh, no. Portland. He had his best game since the conference finals. And the brow responded to that with his even best game since the conference finals. I don't know why you're shaking your head, Wilds. This should send absolute terror down the spines of the rest of the NBA. Because that is how the Lakers looked without LeBron James or Dennis Schroeder against a team that very well might be the 1 seed in the West. And Brandon was spot on. The brow got to the free throw line. 15 free throw attempts the game before against Portland that they could have won if Kuzma showed up. And 17 free throw attempts last night. I don't know why you're laughing. So, Wild.
It's brilliant.
I'm just letting folks know this is a huge problem for the rest of the NBA because Anthony Davis hadn't been playing well, and now he has had in back-to-back-to-back games, aside from the game against the Clippers where he got hurt, his best games of the season. What's up, buddy?
It's Jenna, I'm a little bit speechless here when Nick decides to break out doing his own makeup and adding a unibrow to his statistical analysis. Excellent
I don't know
work.
What you're talking about.
Excellent work. I'll tell you what. You got to get to this. You got to get to the Suns though, because I'm more interested in who you might have to play in the playoffs, Jenna.
One good game from Anthony Davis, and he decides not to wax his brow. He better keep this up. Despite the win, Lakers still in that 7th spot, Nick. 1 game back of Portland with a 7-8 matchup looming against the Golden State Warriors. Nick, I know you're not worried, but should the Lakers be worried about facing the Dubs in the play-in game?
No. Can we be honest about what's about to happen, Wilds, in the final week and a half of the season in the Western Conference? The Lakers have the Knicks on Tuesday and then 3 games that are not losable for them the rest of the way. So the Lakers are likely going to go into the playoffs either on a 5-game winning streak or winners of 4 of 5. We'll see what happens on Tuesday against the Knicks. The rest of the season is going to be teams above the Lakers trying to game out. Are they going to be the 6 or the 7? And how can we avoid playing them? The Lakers are not worried about playing the Warriors. They're not worried about, by the way, it'll probably be the Grizzlies in the 7-8 if you look at their remaining schedules. They are not worried about that. It is the other way. We are asking right now, should the lion be worried about the human it's chasing? No. The human is worried about the lion that's fresh on its tail. That's the situation here. So no, the Lakers shouldn't be scared of playing Steph and the Warriors in potential play-in. The rest of the West, especially after last night, is saying, oh my God, it's going to be last year's playoffs all over again, where none of us can even throw a scare into the Lakers. So, no, they shouldn't be scared, Wilds.
Okay. All right, you should not be scared of the Grizzlies. I buy that. But you should be very scared of Steph. When we get little mini playoff Steph, when he's looking around and be like, oh, do I need to step up and have a monster performance? Oh, are we having like a George the Iceman Gervin situation where he's chasing Bradley Beal for the scoring title, scores 49 in just a handful of minutes? So I would be very, very excited, and I would be very, very nervous if I was the Lakers and I had to play Steph, who is focused on, look, not only sort of redeeming this season, which I think has still been disappointing, although people have different takes on it. You're still in the play-in game and you're a former, dynasty. But he's done so well this year, Brandon. I think the opportunity for him to face LeBron and put a cherry on the top of sort of their narrative Sunday would be magnificent.
Right. And Nick, no one cares about the rest of the season. That's disrespectful to your opponent. That's something that you always learn in the locker room. Take it one game at a time. Don't be looking at what's going to happen next week or 2 weeks from now. As soon as you do that and you take your eye off the mark, that's when you get smacked in the face. So absolutely, they should be worried about Steph Curry. We're talking about a guy who took Davis into the Elite Eight in the NCAA tournament. We're talking about a guy who, wow, what you just say? He just dropped 49? Like, this dude can drop 60 any night. This is one game. Win and you're in. So absolutely, they should be worried because right now they're in a play-in game. I don't care about them playing the Knicks and who they got after that. They need to be worried.
Yeah, it sounds good. And we'll see if we end up getting this matchup. And Wilds, I hope we do. And if only we had an idea of what it would look like if Steph Curry, without big brother KD alongside him, had an opportunity to end LeBron's season. Maybe, what if he had 2 opportunities? What if he had 3 opportunities to end LeBron's season without KD there? Could he do it even once? I don't know what would happen in that scenario. Oh, wait, the last time we had an opportunity to see that, LeBron had the greatest 3-game stretch in the history of basketball.
Stay present.
So, no, I don't think it's say it again, Brandon? What'd you say it again?
Stay present. We're talking about today. We're talking about today. We're not talking about
You were
yesterday
talking about
or
Davidson.
You
were talking about Davidson. Davidson happened during the Bush administration. So miss me with that. You can talk about Davidson. I can talk about the 2016 finals. No, I think it's the Warriors who would be worried, Jenna, not the Lakers.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.